The grand chamber of the Galactic Council stretched across 3 kilometers of polished crystal, its vaulted ceiling disappearing into artificial starlight. Representatives from 412 species occupied their designated zones, each environment carefully calibrated to their biological needs. At the center, on a modest platform of simple metal, stood Ambassador James Kane, the lone human representative. For 3 standard cycles, Kane had presented the same proposal to the Council. Earth requested permission to establish independent trade routes with non-Council species, citing the restrictive tariffs that made basic resources prohibitively expensive for human colonies. The mathematics were clear. Current Council regulations would bankrupt human settlements within 2 generations. Council. Speaker Valen, a towering being with crystalline features, gestured dismissively with one of his 4 arms. The procedures are established for the protection of all species. Humans must adapt to existing frameworks. Kane had prepared for this response. He activated his data projector, displaying trade statistics that painted a grim picture. Honored. Speaker, these frameworks assume species with abundant rare metals and exotic matter. Earth possesses primarily organic resources and basic minerals. Under current regulations, a single medical scanner costs our colonies 3 months of agricultural output. The Mechari delegate, whose species controlled the primary shipping lanes, released a series of harmonic tones that the translation system rendered as laughter. Perhaps humans should have considered resource allocation before expanding beyond their home system. A murmur of agreement rippled through the chamber. The Tauran representative, whose people held monopolies on critical energy technologies, added, "The Council has functioned efficiently for 8,000 years. Special accommodations undermine the stability we have achieved." Kane remained calm, though his knuckles whitened as he gripped the podium. "We are not requesting special treatment. We are asking for the same access to free trade that every species enjoyed before joining the Council. Our proposal includes safeguards, monitoring protocols, and revenue sharing with Council members." Speaker Valen's crystalline form flickered with internal light, a sign of growing impatience. "The human request has been reviewed and denied. This matter is closed." The finality in the speaker's voice echoed through the chamber. Kane looked around at the assembled delegates, seeing calculation in some eyes, indifference in others, but nowhere did he find sympathy or understanding. These beings viewed humanity as a minor inconvenience, a species too young and resource-poor to warrant serious consideration. Kane deactivated his projector and gathered his documents with deliberate precision. "Then I must inform the Council that Earth hereby withdraws its membership, effective immediately." The chamber fell silent. Even the ambient hum of environmental systems seemed to pause. Speaker Valen's form brightened dangerously. "Withdrawal is not permitted without a transition period of 50 standard cycles and payment of outstanding obligations. Article 7 of the Council Charter states that any member species may withdraw immediately if their fundamental survival is threatened by Council policies." Kane replied without consulting his notes. "Earth's legal department has prepared the necessary documentation. Our obligations are settled." The Mechari delegate's harmonic laughter turned harsh. "Where will humans obtain hyperdrive technology? Quantum communicators? Medical equipment? Your species cannot survive without Council infrastructure." Kane smiled for the first time since entering the chamber. "We managed for 200,000 years before meeting you. We will adapt." As Kane walked toward the exit, Speaker Valen called out, "You cannot simply ignore galactic civilization. The Council controls all major trade routes, all advanced technologies, all diplomatic channels." Kane paused at the threshold. "You control what you choose to control, Speaker Valen, but the galaxy is vast, and there are many species who never joined your Council. Perhaps they will prove more reasonable trading partners." 3 months after Earth's withdrawal, The first reports reached Council space. Human ships had made contact with the Outer Rim Confederation, a loose alliance of species that had resisted Council membership for millennia. Within 6 months, humanity had negotiated favorable trade agreements for rare Earth elements in exchange for agricultural techniques and biological research. The turning point came when human engineers successfully reverse-engineered captured Council technology and began producing improvements. Their medical scanners were smaller, more efficient, and significantly cheaper than Council equivalents. Their faster-than-light communication systems required fewer exotic materials and proved more reliable in deep space dock when the Free Traders Union, an organization of independent merchant species, announced exclusive contracts with human manufacturers. Council members began to take notice. The Mechary shipping monopoly faced their first serious competition in centuries as human-designed. Cargo vessels proved more fuel-efficient and required smaller crews. Speaker Valen convened an emergency session. The human situation has become problematic. Their technological advancement exceeds our projections. The Tauran representative, whose energy technology sales had dropped by 30%, voiced what many were thinking. Perhaps we should reconsider their original proposal. Impossible, Valen declared. The Council does not negotiate with former members. But the galaxy had changed. Human colonies thrived under their new trade agreements. Earth's universities attracted students from hundreds of species, drawn by innovative research methods and practical applications. Human diplomatic missions operated throughout the Outer Rim, building relationships that the Council had ignored for millennia. When Ambassador Kane returned to Council space 2 years later, he came not as a supplicant, but as the representative of the newly formed Alliance of Independent Worlds. 23 species had joined humanity in leaving the Council, forming their own governing body based on mutual benefit rather than hierarchical control. Standing once again in the crystal chamber, Kane addressed a noticeably smaller assembly. Many delegations had withdrawn, following humanity's example. The Alliance extends an invitation to any Council member seeking more equitable arrangements. We believe cooperation serves everyone better than domination. Speaker Valen's crystalline form had dimmed considerably. What are your terms? Kane's smile was genuine this time. The same terms we proposed 3 years ago. Fair trade, mutual respect, and the freedom to chart our own course among the stars. The Council that had once seemed eternal now faced a choice: adapt to a changing galaxy, or watch their carefully constructed empire crumble as species after species chose freedom over security. Humanity had walked away from their table and, in doing so, had shown the entire galaxy that there was another path forward. The stars belonged to everyone, not just those who claimed to rule them.